This is Framingham Fan to Fan on Access Framingham TV. Hi, I'm Dave Hornfischer, a Framingham sports fan, and I'm pleased to host this interview show, whose purpose is to highlight those who are involved in Framingham sports at all levels. We hope through this show to increase awareness and ideally fan support of these fun sporting events, and also to help use sports to achieve AFTV's goal of building community. Today I'm pleased to welcome some of the leadership from the Framingham Parks and Recreation and Cultural Affairs Department. Jim Snyder, the Executive Director, Thom, the Deputy Director, and Trish Powell, the Superintendent of Recreation Programs. It's great to have you all on the show. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
You guys have quite the operation down in that little building behind Bowditch Field there. You know, I drive by there and I think, well, maybe there's a football game once in a while or a youth thing. And then I start reading on the website of what's going on. I hope you all came in with roller skates. I mean, this is quite the operation. Jim, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you happened to land as the chief of this, and give a little bit of an overview, and then maybe you can introduce your colleagues and let them fill in the details of what they're about here.
Sure, I'd be happy to. My name's Jim Snyder. I've been in Framingham now 4 going on 5 years. I actually was at Springfield College, and I got my degree in Parks and Recreation Management and Therapeutic Recreation Management. Worked in Connecticut for about a year, and then found my way back into Massachusetts in Medfield. I was the director for 16 years there. And I was looking for an opportunity to grow, to work in a larger community. Framingham with 70,000 people certainly is much larger than my previous community, which was only around 12,000. It offered more opportunities. We have 3 beaches. We have a number of ballparks and sports complexes. Obviously, Bowditch Field is a great place.
We have an image of Bowditch Field there, I think, that's going to run while we're...
Okay.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Yep, and we have, you know, just numerous activities run through the recreation department. We have a number of great capital projects that we've been working on. You know, historically, previous directors have really done a wonderful job with Bowditch and Cushing Park, which is a jewel here in Framingham. So I just really looked forward to the opportunity to come here and be part of all that. Since I've been here, we've done some amazing things with the creation and design of a new skate park. We're doing you know, multiple large projects like Mary Dennison Park, the remediation and cleanup of that park, and future new park design. We also have phases of Cushing Park, you know, which we've been working on with the Children's Grove. I'll let some of my colleagues, Trish Powell, kind of explain a little bit more about the recreation, and Thom in terms of capital projects. But it's been a wonderful experience coming to the city, former town, and going through that experience. So it's been great.
I can see you grabbed onto a large-sized burger, and you've got a big bite into it already. I can see. So
yes.
Trish, you're in charge of some of the programs. Why don't you just give a quick overview of that? And you've been here a couple of years.
Yeah, just a couple, 30-something.
You're the face that I think everybody in Framingham knows when they think Parks and Rec.
Yeah, and I'm wondering how I got here. It's so long sometimes. But I started when I was 4, so, you know, I was very young. We run over 200 recreation programs through the course of the year. We run 7 days a week, 8 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night sometimes. In the summertime, we're constant. There's 3 of us in the recreation division. David Sequoia and Elaine Prue. She just got married maybe a year ago, but I'm still never getting her name correct. The 3 of us are out there all the time, so I might not be the only face. The other 2 are behind the scenes all the way. I tell you, I couldn't do it without them. We run preschool programs right up to senior citizen exercise classes that we do. We have every sport imaginable. We try to keep with the season, so our upcoming season in September, we'll be working on a lot of the soccer programs and what have you. We start at 3 years old with a Start Smart program, which is a parent and kid program. It's awesome. The kids love it. We go on to swimming, skating. I could go on forever. I don't want to.
Yeah, we'll get into a little of the details
yeah.
later on. We've got some pictures that we can run up as
Sure.
well. And Tom, you have a lot to do with the facilities and some of the projects that are in process.
I do. I don't do it alone, that's for sure. We have an unbelievable superintendent of maintenance, Chris McGinty, who I co-manage all our capital projects. We have a capital budget that stretches 20 years, roughly 120 plus projects. That includes either upkeep and maintenance of current facilities and vehicles, or new projects. Like the skate park was one of those projects that recently was completed through a lot of community support and a lot of community help. It was a true community
We
project.
had them on last week. So.
Yeah, they were instrumental in getting that done. In addition, we have a field schedule on Nicole Leone. We issue over 200 permits to 200 plus unique users. That results in roughly 14,000 plus events on our facility. So, and that's all stretched across 36 different fields that includes, or complexes that include school athletic fields as well as park athletic fields. Bowditch Complex, which we saw before, is included on that. We're pretty excited. During the fall season, we're pretty busy at Bowditch. There's a 13-week period that stretches from September 1st all the way through the end of November.
We have some pictures coming up here.
Excellent, beautiful pictures.
That will show some of this.
Excellent. We have 12 football games, or 12 events scheduled already, and that includes both Framingham State, who will kick off the season at Bowditch September 1st at noon, and it includes Framingham High School football team. In addition, we host this year the Wheeler Cup, which is the annual match between the boys and girls teams of soccer from Framingham against Natick, and that's coming back to Bowditch Stadium this year in October as well. Beyond that, we also have the bonfire, the annual bonfire and community pep rally, which I'm sure Trish can touch on as well. That'll be scheduled the day before our annual or biannual Thanksgiving game is coming back to
yeah, let's just touch on that for a little bit.
This is a great event.
Yeah, I should have my shirt matched into that, I guess. But that's done the year the Framingham Natick game is in Framingham, right? Which this year it will be on Thanksgiving Day.
That's
And this is the night before.
It is.
And there's some other stuff that goes on along with this.
We've had like a little pep rally. We have the football team, all the captains will. We've had the band show up. We try to make it a little different every year. We usually have a DJ playing songs.
Is this a track meet that's going on, or what is that?
This is actually.
No.
Sorry, this is actually the Special Olympics. The Special Olympics come and do their annual Massachusetts State Special Olympics at Bowditch. This is an unbelievable partnership, not only between the Regional Special Olympics organization, but athletes and students from Framingham State that come down and volunteer. There's a couple days when we work in our office and we get to look out our window and we see activities like this going on during operating hours, and it's tough not to smile the entire day. So it's this is one of those keystone events that is held every year in April at Bowditch.
And then you had MetroFest there this year, and
we did. That was, gosh, I think it's 5th or 6th annual MetroFest now.
Yeah.
And that's been another cooperative effort between the Metro West Visitors Bureau, a
Sue
lot of
Nichols.
help from the Recreation Department, as well as our maintenance staff. And this year brought in, I think, between 5,000 to 7,000 attendees, I believe. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Well, I mean, in addition to the big fields and all that, you have beaches and pools, and we've got a picture here of one of the. Well, I'm not sure which beach that is. Is that Learned?
That's Learned.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's quite a challenge keeping that water healthy, and.
It is. We test it weekly, and we've had some issues here and there, but most of the time it passes muster, and we have.
And then you have a variety of pools around town.
That's Keefe Tech Pool. We run all our programs. It's run by Keefe Tech. We rent space from them, and we run our swim teams there. We run swim lessons there, lifeguard training, and then on weekends through the fall and winter, we run public swim hours Saturdays and Sundays. So you can get.
And then you have
take a little
outdoor
dip.
pools too.
We do not oversee
What's
any.
this one here? Which pool is this? Is that
That-
This is actually a playground.
That's
It's
a playground that's meant to look like
it looks
water.
like a pool. Oh, it fooled me.
It's meant to look
okay.
like water.
All right. Well, then you have
Tom can
playgrounds
speak.
in your program.
You bought right into the features.
Yeah.
I did. I walked right into the
We're convincing, I guess. Tom can speak to
I think
this,
I
I'm
read where you
sure.
have 25 playgrounds.
We do. I believe that the playgrounds, what you're referring to is schools and our playgrounds as well. We maintain our playgrounds on park property, but this one in particular, particular, it's a children's group.
There's
That was a
one.
capital budget item back in 2014
Where
or
is this
15.
one at?
That's at the Cushing Memorial Park between the middle building and the maintenance building, which also houses our preschool group, play group. So this is a naturally themed, fully accessible playground. As you can see, there's a lot of wood features in there that get kids out to climb, to use their hands, to be active. It's also attached to a fully accessible safety rubber matting that is a pathway. That's the part that looks like water. And on the other side, you can't see it, but there's musical instruments that are very popular nowadays with kids. There's mallets that they can go and they can play it. And some kids are phenomenal, and then some kids are, of course, learning how to play, so it's a little different. And
Well, the
then-
whole stretch down along Dudley Road there has just become an amazing park complex that I think would be the pride of any city you could be in. You've got the skate park, you've got and you've got all the ball fields on the other side, and then you've got what you referred to when we were talking beforehand as the crown jewel, which is the whole Cushing complex, and that wasn't there 10 years ago.
Yeah, and I think that ties in nicely now with Farm Pond. We've had great partnerships with other departments, other organizations, really to get a lot done. Things really that, some of them we really can't take credit for, but certainly they enhance the park facility. One in particular is the recreational pathway that goes all the way up and down Farm Pond, which is beautiful, but that was a DPW project and Community and Economic Development. Helped secure some grants for that, so we provided the space. So it was a real partnership amongst the departments to make that happen.
Yeah, it really is an art in a city to get all of the departments working together, because there are so many facilities and so many quality people in them, and to get them working together. I think we've really seen in the last 10 years, I think, a real improvement in that in Framingham. As a resident who's been here a while, my wife and I are always amazed by when we see these kinds of things, and that stretch along Dudley Road has just become an absolute treasure of a place to go. And we'll have a little video here of the skate park, which was just dedicated, and when I was there for your grand opening, which you had a lot of people involved in that. Talk about a team effort. And
that was a great day. It was on actually the National Ghost Skateboarding Day, and it was a fantastic event. Again, kudos and many thanks to the Skate Park Advisory Committee, to Judith Grove, to the skaters, the kids, especially who stuck with this project as long as they needed to make it happen. But it ties in with the pathway. I think it fits in really nicely with the landscape. Again, it was a lot of design elements incorporated the actual features of the park itself. So you can see that it's built in to the hill a little bit. We actually worked with the DPW, who secured some funding to build a rain garden there to deal with all the stormwater and the runoff in an ecological way. So it's actually been, again, really just great working with the different departments. They're always willing to step up and help us. And it's not just one project, it's nearly every project. Between approvals and cooperation with conservation in certain areas, the capital projects group department has been fantastic, DPW, the planning group. So really, it's all these players that make a lot of these wonderful things come together.
it's a lot of behind-the-scenes thing, but to the public, seeing these places and seeing the kinds of events that are happening there just is part of what makes Framingham such a special place. Thom, why don't you talk a little bit about some of the projects that are going on? I know Loring Arena has been going on for all over a year, and it's about ready to be completed, I guess.
We're in the home stretch. There's some stuff, major things that need to be completed, like paving the front parking lot and a couple things inside. But Jim Paolini, who's the Director of Facilities and Capital Project Management for the city, he's a project manager on the city's behalf, and he's been a huge help in this entire project. He's a very talented guy as well.
I hear his name in a lot of contexts.
Yeah, he has helped us, or he's led the charge with this project. And because of him and Alan Miller, our clerk of the works, we're at the point where we feel that we may be able to, or that we are still planning on opening up for the season on September 9th.
So the renovation there has gone from 1 or 2 bathrooms and 1 locker room to a lot more, and
It's exciting. As you can see already from the front, it's a 2-floor full renovation of the front side. which will separate. The major issue in the past was there was a locker room in the back of 3 locker rooms, and there was really no separation for bathrooms or showers. And with the influx of female hockey, as well as youth hockey, high school, and college now all utilizing the rink at the same time, it was essential that we separate the genders as well as make everything fully accessible. And this is what this renovation does.
Is the seating area changed at all, or is it?
The inside of the seating area, the changes that you'll see, and there's some major changes, are 2 platforms that are accessible on the top of the bleachers on the home side with a brand new press box, which is a beautiful press box.
So if we want to start televising hockey games there, it'll be a lot easier.
Yeah,
That's what it's there for.
absolutely.
And then on the visitor side, you'll see 3 of those platforms that are meant for accessible seating as well.
Wow.
And both of those areas are accessed by taking an elevator from the first floor lobby onto a brand new second floor, which has a heated glassed-in area that'll give spectators and parents a brand new view of the facility from a second
I
floor.
can't
that's
imagine the
overlooking
number of hockey
surface.
games that must go on there. I mean, my son was in hockey from the time he was 4. He's in his 50s, he still plays, but not there. My grandson played there. We had the Framingham State hockey team on last year, and they were and is it going to be a little warmer for the fans in there? Did you do anything?
I'm glad
with
you
the
said that, because the second floor area that the elevator will open up to is actually now heated. It's a community room that'll be glassed in so you can see over the surface with a fully operational snack bar. In addition, it'll have seating in areas where families who have kids down on the ice can now go sit, relax, or do some homework for the younger kids, or just get off
And
the
this
feet
is
a
all
little
going to be in place by?
We're aiming for September 9th.
Wow.
That's
okay.
still the goal.
Well,
September
you might
9th.
have it done before this show gets on the air.
September
This will be
9th.
on long after it's being done. I had some people on from the 50th anniversary, 60th anniversary, the high school graduation, and Mr. Loring was the coach of that team, which is was a connection that I made. Let's just talk about a couple other things. I know you've got an early project going on to get started with Mary Dennison Park. I think we have a picture of one of your planning meetings that's been going on there, and that's sort of probably the hot button in terms of new stuff that you're trying to work through. And
I'm going to defer to Jim for Mary Dennison.
Sure. So Mary Dennison Park, this was actually a planning meeting that we had back in 2016. It was a fantastic event. We turned it into a community day down at Mary Dennison Park. We had activities. We had tents down there. We provided some snacks and pizza and food. But really, the primary reason for holding this meeting was to get information from the public, from the users of the park, on what they would like to see in their new park. And it was really a fantastic event. This particular exercise that they're going through right now, they had a map on the ground and everyone had Post-its, and they could write on Post-its exactly what they wanted to see. They wanted to see a softball field. They wanted to see larger playgrounds. They wanted to see activity nodes around
like
for
a little skate spot or something.
a skate spot, has been recommended as well. We're thinking about putting a synthetic ball field in there. It's still early. We're in the early
Is
stages
there a
of the
timetable that you're
design.
kind of working on? I mean, will the public see anything there by 2020? Or?
Yeah, the timetable is really dictated by the remediation.
Okay.
And the remediation is a process that needs to be undertaken
Right.
that's monitored by the
When are they going to start
the
digging?
state.
They have to actually dig stuff out to do that?
Well, first we have
Or are
to
they
figure
gonna
out
just
exactly
pave it
the
over? If you
profile.
pave it over,
of
it'll
this.
be done, right?
Ideally. But actually we have to get a clear profile of the soil. Where are the problem
This
areas?
sounds like 2040.
No, we're actually moving along. There's several phases to it. We're in finishing up phase 2, moving into phase 3, which gets into more of the design and the proposed remediation effort. But the fun part of these design charrettes, and we did another one just a few months back, is again that people get to come out, they get to see what potentially could go in the park.
Right.
We've took their ideas and incorporated it into a design. Some of the things that we want to put in there, they are going to be dictated by the remediation
Sure.
and kind of where things can
Right.
go. But ultimately, the goal is to provide a place for the community to gather, to enjoy, to have picnics, to enjoy with their families, to play some sports, to have the playground, and really just a nice amenity for
and
the
probably
city.
a little closer to today are some of the improvements that are happening at Butterworth Park.
All of our parks are receiving, minor upgrades here and there, some more significant than others. Thom can explain, we've gone through a number of phases over at Butterworth Park improvements there that you can get deeper into.
Butterworth Park is
this-
actually,
that's
this, and you can see this is a great photo, but this is actually a really exciting project, which all are, but particularly this one, because so many different renovations have gone into this facility in the last couple of years that have really improved it. First thing you see here is a fully accessible pathway that now connects Grant Street with Bishop Street. It allows our trucks, if you can see at the bottom of the screen behind that tree, allows our trucks to be able to still access the site while not having this. You can see the brown area. It was about a 14-foot road, and it was dirt gravel, and it was poor with drainage, and it was just an eyesore, not all that accessible. Now that's all gone, and this beautiful pathway connects it. You can see a little path that goes off
So are
to
there
the
two
beautiful
baseball
little
fields there?
playground.
Those are softball fields?
That is a baseball field and a softball field. The one closest to us is very heavily used by Route 9 Softball League. It's all the softball or the Route 9 businesses that hold games on our facilities, as well as a number of different users. And this actually used to be the home field for Marion High School, but we all know that Marion, unfortunately, is no longer in functioning. One of the projects that we're going to be undertaking this year, as you can see in the far side of the screen, is a basketball court. Since we removed a bleacher structure that was similar to what was at Bowditch and built through the WPA program in the 1930s, it's left that basketball court open to foul balls and the safety issue, as well as people who are walking up and down the pathway if the basketball goes too far. I'm bad at passing, so if I'm playing there, I know I'm going to go off of the court. But it removes that safety issue, and it'll actually be repointed, so it'll go parallel with Grant Street, and it'll move about 15 to 20 feet back. I'm sorry, it'll move about 100 feet back and 15 to 20 feet off of the road to a safe area that'll now be fully viewable from the street at all hours of the day. And in addition, it'll be far enough away from the foul line that will remove that safety issue. And that project is generously funded through a grant from the CDBG program through Community and Economic Development, as well as capital funds that were approved in FY19, or I'm sorry, yes, we are 19 from
Well, we've been
City
talking
Council.
a lot about facilities and all that and programs. Let's just talk about some of the programs that you do. I know you mentioned before, Trish, you had all ages from preschool to people older than me involved in things. And why don't you just give me a little overview. I think a few photos, we'll run through a couple images here that you guys gave me of a couple of things that were highlights. I know you have a big pumpkin event. That was one of the pictures.
Pumpkins in the Park will be coming up in October. Maybe
And this
by the
looks
time
like
this
a
was-
youth-
th- This is
Drama
actually
kids.
That's a
drama
drama?
kids. That's a drama class, and they did a play with that's a backdrop that they're in front of.
Where's the barn?
That
Oh,
was,
that's a
that was just a
backdrop.
backdrop.
Backstage
yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
so but
Okay,
this
there's the
here is
pumpkins
Pumpkins in the Park. We usually have about 200 kids that sign up with
Is
their
that at Cushion?
families. That's
Yes.
over at Cushion. During the day, we also collaborate with the police department, and they actually take the kids downtown trick-or-treating. So we put kids on a school bus. After they've painted their pumpkins, they go get on the school bus, they go downtown, they go to the Framingham businesses, they come back, there's a hayride that's going on. Everyone's dressed in costume. You won't recognize any of us if you come down to the event because we're all in costume. But it's a great, great family event. And that's right at Cushion
I know
Park.
there was another image that I saw, I don't think we have it here, of an Easter, looked like an Easter egg hunt or something?
We do the extravaganza egg hunt that we do every year in the spring. And very similar, find the eggs, come bring them to the bunny, and we do all that. So there's all these special events. We try to target one per season, and it's great community events.
You have a lot of indoor programs for, I know my grandkids over the years have done basketball programs and soccer programs, and you use a lot of the school facilities?
We do use the school
Yeah, here's
facilities.
one
We
here, I
run
guess. Is this
that. It looks like our soccer with GPS that we run. We contract with a soccer group. They come in. They spend the week teaching the kids the skills, and it's usually during a vacation week. So if parents are looking for something to do with their kids that are working, we take them on and teach them a new skill, and then they can join the leagues that are out there in the city along the way that we provide the fields and what have you for, but we don't.
And then with the
actually run
pools we were
programs.
looking at, you have a number of swim teams. I know the Framingham Frogs got a lot of press this year, and that's part of your operation, I understand.
It is.
as well.
The summer team powerhouses. We have over 200 kids running, swimming in the league.
Really?
Great coaching staff. I think they were 10-1 this summer. They usually are undefeated. They are they have a ball, and it's a whole summer event for the kids. They do
And
a
that's
mile
all
swim.
ages, too.
It's all ages. They start as long as they can swim the length of the pool without difficulty. It's usually around 7 years old. We've had a few younger ones, right up to high school age.
So we've talked a lot about kids. Why don't you talk a little bit about people my age? That
Oh,
are,
people your age, we
yeah.
have lots of
You
fun
have lots
things.
of things, really. Okay, now you're into the 20-somethings.
20-somethings. We have a men's
But,
slow pitch league during the summer months. We run the concerts on the Common for everybody. So on
really?
Friday
That's
nights,
part
you
of
can
it.
be down,
Yes,
come
right.
see us right across the street. We have, oh my goodness,
Number
I
of
could go
trips.
on a number of trips that we do.
Yeah, I've seen the sign by Bowditch saying go to Foxwoods or something like that.
Right. We've done the 9/11 Memorial in New York City. We've done plays. We've done all sorts of different trips along the way for the adults. We have a senior exercise class that we run over at Callahan, and they have a whole slew of activities.
Yeah,
that
is Callahan coordinated with your?
they're
that
doing
is
it. Yeah, I'll
under-
let Jim speak to that.
It's one of our 5 departments within our division.
Oh, why don't you mention
Is the
them?
Council on Aging, so we
Okay.
certainly should put in a plug for those guys.
Yeah.
And actually, it'd be a great guest to have in on the show. They do so much activities. Grace O'Donnell runs
Yes.
the program.
Right.
She's the director over there. And they do a number of trips. They have exercise groups. They have support groups, outreach. They're very busy over there. And they have a number of great
They have any
programs.
sports programs?
They have pool. I think they do some volleyball
They do
indoors.
They do
Yep.
Zumba classes.
Zumba classes. Yeah, a lot of exercise.
You
Lot of
mentioned
exercise,
several
yoga.
departments that have we covered them all? You got.
Yep, so we have Parks and Recreation, obviously. We have the Council on Aging, which I mentioned. Loring Arena, which you touched upon, which is its own department. And we've historically operated the cemeteries. We are currently operating those now, basically until there's a decision made to either keep it in-house or have it
And the
go over
History
with the
Center's had
edge.
some nice programs in the cemeteries on Halloween.
They have.
We did a TV thing. Well, we're kind of rapidly running out of time here. I know you have a parks commissioner. With Framingham has 5 parks commissioners who will, I guess, give you some public input. Is that kind of what their role is in all this?
Yeah, they're a policy-making board, and they also are an excellent sounding board. We view them as really, they have their finger on the pulse of the community, and they let us know exactly, what they're hearing from their friends, from their
And you have some
organizations.
kind of a website that people can get information on?
We
that we
do.
can put up in nice big letters on our bottom of the screen here?
Absolutely.
And it is what?
FraminghamRec.com. That's to register for our programs. And then
Framingham Rec, FraminghamRec.com.
that's correct.
Okay.
And that
We
will
can
list
run
all
those
our
letters
programs.
one at a time across the screen. Well, as I warned you when we started, we had a lot to cover. I think we did a great job covering it. I thank you all so much for coming in. I think you all should be proud of what you're doing. As a resident of Framingham, I'm excited that we've got your department. So thank you very much for joining
Thanks
us.
for having
Thank you
us.
very much.
And
Appreciate
thanks, and thanks to everybody for tuning in to Framingham Fan to Fan. We hope you'll come back next time. We'll never know what kind of fun we're going to have here. Thank you. Good night.